Here we go. Hello, everyone. We're back. Eric Watson here, freelance writer, player of games, writer of words, recorder of videos, and tabletop role-playing aficionado. Welcome to our weekly live stream at Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition online role-playing adventures. I'm joined, as always, by my good friends, Chris, playing the Noir detective, human inquisitive rogue, wizard, Mannix.
Hello.
Heather, playing the dark death dealer, half-drow, assassin, rogue, Kaless.
Hello.
Rochelle, playing the Deepwater Diva Triton Bard of Whispers, Gillian.
Hello.
And joining us later tonight, Raymond, playing the Heedlessly Brave Total Battle Master Fighter Rogue, George, and Reese, playing the Metal-Laced Mighty Morphin Hilldorf Druid of the Moon, Theron. We stream our sessions live on YouTube every Friday evening. You can catch up on previous episodes on my YouTube page, as well as read weekly session recaps at roguewatson.com. Watch my behind-the-scenes No Players Allowed live series, Crafting Annihilation, on Thursday mornings. If you would like to support the channel, please check out patreon.com/RogueWatson. Shoutouts to Platinum patrons Andrew, Richard, Joe, Will, Tiny Dancer, Nick, Andy, Grayson, and Chris. Shout out to new Platinum patron Chris, not this Chris. Other Chris.
I didn't do it.
And gold patrons RPG Papercrafts, Charming Grenade, Pretty Boy, Numa, Marcos, Ted, Vicente, Gilberto, Sean, AK, Cert2B, Adam, Dead Lizard, Lounge, Sam, Arash, and Lumpy Spuds. Thank you all very much for your support. For our campaign, we use Roll20.net for video chat. We use Discord, and for streaming, I use Open Broadcaster software with Streamlabs. Previously on Tomb of Annihilation, after obtaining their fourth puzzle cube from Papazodal's shrine, the party struck southeast toward their next shrine through the flooded ruins of Omu. Suddenly, arrows flew out from nearby buildings as snakes emerged from the waters. A Yuan-ti patrol had set up an ambush, forcing the party to scramble into defensive positions. Several of them were felled by a rain of poisoned arrows. The party persevered, including Kaless leaping through a window to drop a shredder grenade, while a revived George scrambled up into a second-story building. A revived Gillian, nursing another damaged eye, stunned the attackers, while George dropped them off the building. The Yuan-ti retreated, leaving the party panting and bloodied. Before they could recuperate, they heard the sounds of battle coming from the shrine. Another force of Yuan-ti were attacking the Groung to get at the cube. Mannix used his recently acquired Dust of Disappearance to grant the entire party invisibility as they crept up to the carnage. The floating bodies of slain Groung lie all around the temple as a snake-armed Yuan-ti shot blasts of force at the closed doors. The party surrounded the Yuan-ti and executed their own ambush, killing the spellcaster before he had a chance to react to the materializing assailants. The rest of the Yuan-ti quickly morphed into snakes and retreated. The surviving Groung tentatively opened the doors, and the party used Orvex to calm them down. The Groung chieftain was pleased to see the Yuan-ti defeated, and equally pleased to see the return of his beloved son Imbok. The party asked for the puzzle cube, and the Groung obliged, using Imbok's necklace to magically open the sealed doors in the back of the shrine. As the party obtained their fifth puzzle cube, Zagmira contacted them once again. The party had earned a moment of respite, then it was onward to the palace, where they'll meet her spy Ishmakal and learn how to get into the Yuan-ti temple and obtain their next cube. So, as I
can't go wrong.
Yeah. As I mentioned, you all are going to get a chance to long rest and level up here. After saving the surviving Groung from the Yuan-ti attack and returning their lost prince, the Groung have welcomed you into their temple, and they offer to hold a feast in your honor, which includes piles of large crawling bugs, snakes, and other reptiles, because they are frogs.
I'm sure George would not be down for this.
Yeah,
He
what are we
would
doing about
want to
George?
poison the food and watch
Poor
them all
George.
die slowly.
He's a good hand.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're controlling his rage at the moment.
He's mollified at the moment, at least.
We've got like the Vulcan death grip on George.
Mhm.
One wrong way, we go twink, and he's like just out.
we need to not fight right at the moment. We need a long rest.
Orvex helps.
To which George would say, "Let's long rest and then kill them all after."
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Orvex can help you all translate the speeches that the Groung chieftain croaks about, declaring you all great warriors that were sent by Nang Nang himself in their time of need. And you notice the Groung that you had all saved, Imbok, the prince, his son, has a large gathering of Groung around him, and he's regaling stories of the incredible feats that he's witnessed, battles with a tentacled swamp monster, and the dreaded King of Feathers. And of course, he's embellishing his own role in these fights, fighting side by side along you all. And all the Grungs are like just fawning over him and looking at you all with adoration.
If that's the cost of him not mentioning that we had him in chains, fine. That's totally fine by me.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Yeah,
Make yourself a hero. Don't mention that we were assholes to you, and we're all good.
he seems pleased to ride this wave of popularity.
Yeah.
What we don't realize is before this, he was like a complete and total dork. Nobody paid attention to him.
Right.
Yeah. Nice, Mr. Popularity.
Let him have it. Let him have it. They're speaking Groung this whole time, right? And
Right.
we don't-
Orvex is helping translate whenever you're wondering like what they're saying. So he's kind of paraphrasing in terms of these great stories that they're telling.
Oh, well then, in that case, I still got some spell slots. I know I'm about to long rest. But every time
Might as well use it.
every time the Groung gets to like a part of the story about like some great monster or thing we fought, I'm going to have an image of that creature just appear over his head like a fucking movie projector.
That's awesome. It's like when they mentioned the King of Feathers, you can just have the fucking king
Yeah,
right there.
just the King of Feathers is just over him. I mean, there's no sound, but just over him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Grung are terrified at first, but then once they actually catch on kind of quickly about what's going on, and they kind of look at you. Or do you want to make it subtle, or do you want to make it a show like you're doing it?
My hands out like I'm literally like a movie projector with my hand.
Okay.
Lights just coming
Yeah,
out.
lights coming out. It literally looks like I'm just.
Gotcha. Yeah, they freak out at first, but once they realize there's no sound and it looks very imagery, then they all kind of cheer and clap, and they really get into it. Manix, you can have a point of inspiration for adding to their
All right.
their good times with the projector. I like that.
I had 3 silent images left, so I picked 3 important
Yeah, you
points
took the
to
best
mess up.
spots and really lay it on thick.
Yep.
The Grung seem to love that. And this is kind of throughout the later afternoon into the evening hours. And as it turns to night, you hear an alarming croaking outside. So you're still kind of in the midst of these, or towards maybe the end of the festivities. A small group of Grung run into the temple carrying what looks like a tiny, tiny injured dragon. Like a cat-sized dragon. They begin arguing, and one of them looks like it's about to pop it into its mouth.
Have I seen this tiny dragon before?
You do recognize this tiny dragon.
Okay.
You
All
recognize Zendala's familiar.
Okay. I'll approach and wave my wizard hands around.
Wizard. I don't have regular hands. They're wizard hands.
They've seen what my wizard hands can do, so I wave them in a dramatic fashion. Go away, frogs! I talk to this thing. I'm not actually touching them because I know that they're full of poison.
Given what you just did for all of them and with the projector stuff, they acquiesce fairly quickly. And most of them just kind of shrug. They're like, okay, whatever. They hand it over.
Okay. And how did this... I remember this dragon had a weird way to communicate, but I don't remember what it was.
Yep. Almost immediately, your mind is assaulted by feelings of fear and terror and images of explosions. And you see an image of Zendala, a blonde woman with some dragon scales interspersed in her skin, screaming in silence as she's surrounded by just big menacing forms. Yeah, you remember that the dragon doesn't communicate normally. It communicates purely through thought, and even then, it can't. It's not like telepathic. It's like, it doesn't send like language to you. It sends feelings and emotions and images.
Right.
It's like dragon bait, but not really.
Yeah. Smells and emotions. No
That's
one
right.
talks regular anymore.
No one talks regular anymore. Manix huffs.
That's the problem with kids nowadays.
That's right. Communicate with all these feelings and smells. Like in my day, we use words.
And thought finger guns.
And thought finger guns. Like a real man. I'll tell the dragon, yeah, looks like you and your master have had some trouble. Where did this particular bit of bad news go down at?
It sends it sends some images, and you're trying to get your bearings because you literally see it from the dragon's POV, and you see it flying away and looking back. And you haven't seen Omu obviously from the air, but it kind of looks around and you can recognize like the flooded region, and then it twirls and you can see the great pit leading into the lava not too far away, and you notice a giant circular wall, and it seems to be leaving near that area and flying just away.
All right, and we do have this map that we're looking at. We have it in a map form.
This
Right?
map,
I feel
yeah.
I feel like we got it from like a building or something. Yeah.
Yeah, we assume you copied this map down or something.
Right.
Empath,
Okay.
thank you. Empath, that's the word.
There you go. That's the word.
Thank you, chat.
All right. So Zendala was inside that royal palace for whatever godforsaken reason. I told her where Artis was. I told her. I don't know why she's not. Did she not listen to my voicemail?
As per my last email.
Voicemail. That's right.
She left you on red.
She did. I told her where we were going to be. I told her we had Artis. I gave her all the necessary information.
The dragon, the tiny dragon does look pitifully injured. And it's got, you see images as it flies up, these monstrous statues that line the cliffs above Omu, suddenly like taking flight and swooping towards it. And you see like your vision just rapidly moving forward and like whipping through like trees and buildings and around things. And the images get more and more erratic as you see just more monstrous forces all around it. And just fear assaults your mind to where you have to like just kind of pull away from it.
Yeah. Well, that's what that tells me is that it's good we didn't do what George wanted to do when we first got here. The edge of the cliff. If there's some sort of monsters guarding the cliff edge.
It's generally a good idea to not do the things that George wants us to do.
Let George do them, but none of us need to participate.
None of us do them.
Okay. I'll go to either Theron or Gillian, and ask them if they would mind healing this little dragon up a little bit before we settle down for the. You got anything left in the there?
I have plenty of spell slots left. Maybe that's why I lost an eye, because you guys didn't continue my spell slots apparently last time.
Maybe.
It was a very brutal fight, to be fair.
It was bad. It was real bad. There were stake people in windows, fire and arrows. It was pretty bad.
Sounds like a lot of excuses to me, but
If it helps, you went down in basically like one hit.
That probably doesn't.
I don't know if it helps.
Yeah.
But
Gillian keeps that eye patch
to
ready.
heal this
It's
sad
right.
little dragon creature.
All right, we're gonna heal you, little thing. And then you're going to stick with us till we find your master, all right?
It nods happily at that and moves to kind of like curl up just around you, Mannix. And it's basically as like a cat at that point.
I ain't into that little thing. Go cuddle with one of the ladies.
Cat with like a scorpion tail. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it doesn't like.
Yeah, it's got scorpion tail.
All right, it's not maybe as cuddly as I was telling it for. Look, the dragon thinks it's super cuddly. All right.
Yeah.
Celeste isn't afraid of it. She'll come up and say, "Come with me, little friend," and let it curl up and do its thing.
Okay.
Is it purr? Please tell me it purr.
Give me a let's see, what is this? That's not really an
acrobatics check.
An acrobatics check.
I twirled the dragon like a sign in the street.
Give me an animal handling check with advantage.
Okay. Hey, go advantage, go.
The dragon, and you remember Zendala was calling it Summerwise. Seems to sense your good intentions, and you feel yourself drawn.
I think that's the first time anyone has ever used the word "good intentions" with my name.
Yeah, it seems to kind of just bore into your soul, and just can kind of sense that you mean it no harm. And it gladly jumps over to you and kind of rests itself on your shoulder, drapes its tail like along your arm, almost like a cool tattoo.
I'm down for it.
I was gonna say
I'll give it a little scratch under the chin.
I was gonna say that Celeste has shown that she likes animals more than people, but then Mannix remembers Celeste stabbing a flying monkey through them.
I do remember that. That was messed
those
up.
flying monkeys. There were a lot of them. They were attacking us first.
Yeah.
I had to stab one so that way they would understand who's the pack leader.
Now one of them is like Gillian's brother, I think.
I know.
Yeah.
Why
That's right. We should
about my brother flying monkey.
we shouldn't have this conversation in front of Gillian's brother.
I covered his ears.
It's very sensitive.
You remember when Celeste murdered the shit out of that monkey? Good times.
She impaled that sucker.
It definitely won't happen to you. So
No.
whatever my brother's name is, no worries.
I forgot that name. I have to look it up.
Yeah.
His name is Gillian's brother.
Somebody in chat remember Gillian's brother's name, please.
Flying monkey brother.
That would have been the trivia question during our giveaway I should have done. What is the name of Gillian's brother?
And Monkey Brother would have been one of the options.
Yeah. Gillian's monkey brother. All right. You all can enjoy the benefit of a long rest and the benefit of leveling up to 8. Level 8.
Long rest.
Right.
Long rest.
And a long
I
rest.
like it. All my items that I've used up all recharge.
Yeah.
My frog and my daggers and my wands.
Okay, dumb question. How are you marking that on your character sheet?
What I have, which I can actually, I can send you a screenshot in Discord.
Let's have a Roll20
What I have
workshop.
that's right. On the right-hand side underneath flaws, there's all these boxes that you can add that are just like trackers. You just add a total at the top, and then in the middle you have a current number.
I see.
So I've got a bunch of those, like Silverlight Dagger, Keyblade Dagger, that are just at 1.
Yes. Okay.
And then I just move it to 0 whenever I've used it.
I did do that for Circlet of Blasting at one point, and then forgot that it was there and have not
Yeah.
used it. Okay.
I'll be right back. I have unplugged my blanket.
What's
fire.
happening? Is there someone in your house? Are you guys okay?
Oh, you got a bunch of those.
Then there were 2.
That's right.
All right. So Mr. Mannix, tell us about level 8, which, by the way, I discussed this on crafting, but this might be how this campaign arc goes, with kind of an inverse curve in the speed of which you level, because you guys spent like a good long time in levels 3, 4, 5, and 6, and now like 7 wasn't nearly as long, 8 might not be as long. Like it's actually going to be kind of going through these last ones a little bit more quickly, so just be aware of that.
I wonder if you could probably make a pretty cool wave graph of how long we spent at each level of the different campaigns.
I think so, and I think that's what it would look like. It would go like
1 through 4 was just nothing.
Yeah,
it was just
superimpose them. Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Storm Kings was the opposite. We spent like no time in the early levels and jumped up to tier 2. And this time we spent a whole bunch of time in the early levels, and now we're going to go actually a lot faster.
Move pretty quick.
Yeah.
Interesting. A level 4 wizard, which is what I'm taking, another level of wizard, gains just some spells, basically, and a attribute bonus. So he gains another cantrip, which I'm going to take Minor Illusion, which just lets me create a tiny minor illusion, or sound, which I realized that's what was missing from my previously, was the ability to create sounds. And then I get another level 2 spell slot and 2 more spells. I'm taking Shadow Blade, which turns my rapier into a better rapier, a better blade.
Ooh.
Which I can use
the weapon
in
you don't
conjunction with my green flame blade cantrip. So I have now, because it summons a weapon in my hand, the Shadow Blade, and then I can use my green flame blade cantrip with this weapon when I am dumping a Shadow Blade attack.
Wow.
Or Shadow Flame Blade. That's what I was calling it.
Shadow Flame Blade.
That's right.
Deals psychic damage.
And then I am also taking Misty Step. For the
That's a good one for you.
Retreat.
That's right.
You actually took a combat spell. Holy crap. I don't know whether to be proud or ashamed of you.
Both. It's always both.
Yeah, it is always both.
And then I get +2 to my intelligence. So my intelligence is an 18, where closer to where it should be for a wizard.
Nice. All right, so you're becoming a wizard who dabbles in rogueness. Actually,
that's right.
An interesting inverse.
It's right now it's 4/4. Yeah, it's
fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see some hit points on your impressive D6, I think.
What is the
I know wizard is
dice?
The lowest, but I think the lowest is a D6.
Yeah, wizard's a D6. Yeah. All right. D6. Yes.
Ooh. And with your impressive +0 con, that's 6 more hit points.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Which takes me to a grand total of 45.
Nice.
I'm sure somebody will be at 90 right now.
That's usually how it works.
Yep.
All right, Celeste, tell me about level 8. Did you decide?
So, with little to no help from you, I swear to goodness, wouldn't help me.
By the way, I meant to do this during the intro, but this week, happy birthday to Heather. Her birthday is tomorrow. I usually try to do that whenever we're right around the birthdays.
Hey.
I'm turning 17.
That's right.
Of course.
Wait, that would make me a pedophile, I think.
Yes, I'll be right back, guys.
The police will be knocking on your door shortly.
Yeah, that's not cool.
So for level 8, I had a choice of taking a feat or I guess the +2 or the +1 to my things. I decided this time around to take a feat. So I will be taking the feat Prodigy, which does have a prerequisite of being a half-elf, which I am. So I have a knack for learning new things, even though my int and whiz is not good, but I apparently can learn things. I do gain the following benefits. I gain 1 skill proficiency of my choice, 1 tool proficiency of my choice, and a fluency in 1 language of my choice. I also can choose 1 skill in which I have proficiency. You gain expertise with that skill, which means your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make with it. The skill you choose must be one that isn't already benefiting from a feature such as expertise that doubles your proficiency bonus. So that's pretty fun.
You've been learning things.
Just getting better.
Yeah, I've been paying attention. That's what it comes down to. So, well, here's my question. On our character sheet for skills, you have the little checkbox for proficiency. You do not have a way of marking expertise.
You do it somewhere else. Because I do have expertise on two of mine.
Checked in the little gear icon, and they only have 2 options: normal or expertise. They don't have a proficiency one, but the ones that I have marked as proficient on the core page all say expertise on the back side, and not proficient.
That's because you have to do both. If you have expertise in it, you have to have the proficiency checked on the main sheet, and you have to move it to expertise on the gear sheet.
I don't have an option of proficient on the gear.
No. You just move that to expertise.
But I never touched this. I just found it. And when I take the check mark off, it takes it back to normal.
Right. You have to have both active at the same time. You have to have the checkbox on, and then you have to go to the gear and move it to expertise.
But I never did that when I created the sheet. That's the thing. I've never had expertise in some of these. I've only ever had proficiency.
Oh, and does it say expertise on some of them right now?
Yeah, it says expertise on all of them.
Oh,
Except
that's weird.
The ones that are checked all say expertise on the gear sheet, but on the regular sheet, it just has the proficiency checked. So there's not an option to do that, because the proficiency, with the way they have it worded in the sheet, with how it says expertise, it's proficient because it's only adding my proficiency bonus to what it needs to.
Oh.
But it doesn't have the expertise where it doubles that bonus.
I don't know, DM, you're gonna have to look at it. So mine's working properly. I've got the ones
I
that I
got
had
confused
set.
a long time ago. I don't know what's going on.
Well, you have to go yeah. The ones that I have expertise marked on are correct. Like if I have expertise marked in the gear sheet, then it's adding my modifier and it's adding my proficiency twice, which is how it's supposed to work.
Why do you have expertise marked on all your skills, or marked on your proficient skills?
I don't. I never touched that. I don't know how. I only just found that clicking through things. I have only ever checked the box. That's all I've ever done.
I don't know.
Welcome.
It sounds like you've already got expertise in all your proficient skills.
You made me do you made me do the character mancer thing, so it did it all on its own. Saying.
I mean, that just made it be wrong. You just may need to move them back to normal.
Oh yeah, so you're saying you get expertise from rogue levels? Maybe you get that built in.
Oh yeah.
So you probably already got expertise in some skills.
Okay, so I have to pick different skills, and then
do you already have expertise in all your proficient skills? Because then this feat really wouldn't do anything for you.
Well, in my ones that I have current proficiency in, yes, but I would get to pick a new proficiency and then I can up that to an expertise.
Oh yeah, you're right. It does say you gain 1 skill proficiency of your choice. Okay.
And then I gain an expertise with that skill. So
wow. So you can suddenly go from like nothing to like really good at something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking.
So you should have a total of 4 right now.
Less is found religion.
Rogues at first level get 2 expertise, and then at 6 they get 2 more expertise.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I have 4.
Okay.
I have 4. And they're all basically my good stuff.
So what was your initial question then?
I guess it works itself out in the sheet. Okay. I'll have to go into the backside and change. So I'm not real sure what I'm going to take. Proficiency / expertise.
I'm good at something. I don't know what it is, but I'm good at something.
What have you been doing
You're
lately?
I was
taking night
thinking
classes
like,
or something. In the jungle.
I was thinking of doing like perception, because I only have a +1 in that right now. And
Yeah.
that would bump that a lot.
Yeah, you do that. Or you
Yeah.
do like intimidation. You've been doing a lot of intimidation.
Oh yeah, I could do that. I think I will. That's a good one. Make me double scary.
I'm just trying to think about the things you've been doing lately. And
Yeah, that's
doing
true.
lately.
Have it make sense, yeah.
Yeah. So then I'll just. Well, I'm not going to click it here because I'll do the character mancer sheet thing.
Well, I think you want to do.
it correct.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So if I click this button,
Yeah,
not the
that's
level
right.
1 one.
Yeah, with Prodigy, you should have 5 expertise skills. Yes. that's
Yep.
correct.
All right, so I'm gonna roll for my hit
Thank you,
points
Andy.
just so I can get this out
Yes.
of the way.
I never look at y'all sheets just so we're clear. I got my own shit to worry about.
Maybe you ought to every once
Maybe
in a
I ought to every once in a while to make sure
Yeah.
you guys are staying honest.
These are the levels.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could change all that, so the sheet just did it for me. All right, what is my con modifier? Where is that? Oh, it's 4 because I have an 18 con.
Jesus
So
Christ. So it's 11.
11 hit points.
Yep.
11. If I hit next, it should add. Yeah, there we go. I'm at 91 hit points.
Fuck.
Wow.
Immediately double my hit
Goodness, that's
points.
a lot of hit points.
Wow. 2 Manixes.
Oh,
Is there, like,
it's too
a black
many.
market where we can go buy hit points?
Yeah.
That's right. I'd like to buy the hit point upgrade, please.
Yeah. I spend all of my money.
Why doesn't the character master sheet let you choose?
It may not be built into that.
Oh, I bet I saw that Prodigy is in Xanathar's, and I bet Xanathar's isn't might not be in here, maybe? Although
Okay.
I saw it, but if I saw it, then you should be able to see it.
Oh.
Well, I can just put it in myself. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Like Chris was
do
saying,
it the
just
lame way.
check it off proficiency and then go into that gear
Yeah.
and select expertise, and it should work.
Yeah.
So you should take performance and be Gillian's backup dancer. A traveling show.
We're all part of the group now.
Feels like too many.
All right. Was that everything?
I think so. The character
You're
mancer
sneaking-
sheet's trying to give me too many hit points.
Or wait, there was like a tool proficiency? There was some other stuff you got too, wasn't there?
Yeah, I got a tool proficiency, a
Oh, no,
language of my choice.
Okay.
Yeah, I should only have 87 hit points. Why is it trying to give me 91?
I'm gonna have to do an audit of like everybody's character sheets, aren't I? Here comes the
Hey,
DM.
I'm auditing my own sheet. Thank you very much.
I think some of us have suspiciously low hit points. Yeah.
What have I been doing to achieve these?
There we
levels?
go. Okay, I figured out what it was. I shouldn't have added in my con to the sheet. That makes sense. Okay,
Oh.
it'll auto add. It auto adds in the con. That's what it was doing.
This is too automated. I don't like
Yeah.
it.
I like that
All right.
autocorrect in the chat. Auto-corrected character monster into character anger. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So I am gonna take intimidation as my skill, and then I'll bump that to proficient or to expertise. So
Nice.
That way.
That's like a
Yeah.
so proficiency is a 3, so that went from 0 to 6.
Plus,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that went from 0 to +6.
Nice.
So it's the same as my deception.
That makes sense. Kless just learned how to be scary.
That's
Socially.
she's always been scary.
Always
but
been
now she knows how
scary.
to-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been taking lessons from the little scorpion dragon on my shoulder because everyone seems to be afraid of it. So I'm
Yeah.
just kind of going with it.
How do you scare people, Dragon?
All right. So I got a tool proficiency of my choice, which I'll have to look up tools. I forgot to do that. And then I also gained
my
fluency
blade
in one
tool.
language of my choice, to which I chose the language that the snake people speak.
They speak a combination of common and draconic, so you could take draconic if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
That's
a
the
good one.
snake people one. So I'll be able to understand snake people now.
Yeah.
How do I add?
Yeah, and I don't think
There we
any
go.
of you spoke Draconic, which is interesting amongst
No.
5
Yeah.
PCs. Usually you have most languages covered.
There
Although
we
in
go.
this campaign particularly, a lot of the native races have just their own language, so...
Right.
Yeah.
The Groung
Those
language.
weird races.
Right, yeah. It's not like a bunch of elves hanging around somewhere.
I speak
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to.
primordial.
That's right.
Why are there no
You can speak the
primordials?
Yeah,
language
where
of
are all the primordials?
the elementals, I think. I'm not sure what
Yeah,
primordial is.
Yeah.
The
If you ever
gods,
come across
maybe?
a water elemental, you can talk to one of those.
You basically speak Latin. That's what it comes down to.
It's a
So
long
if you see any
language.
ancient gods walking around, then you
Maybe.
can converse.
Okay,
Gillian.
Chris got an F+ in Latin.
That's right.
Let's bring up Chris's F+
I got
last
a D+.
An F+.
F,
is
it was
what
an
you
F+.
told us.
Yeah,
I love the F+.
then I took
That's
I retook
great.
a test.
Just barely failing.
Just barely failed. I retook a test, and I got a D. So it was an F+.
Gillian, speaking of you, can you tell us about your level 8?
Okay, so I also get either a spell. I mean, okay, wait. So my spell's the easier part. So
Spell's the
I
easier
get
part? Oh no.
well, I've just still been trying to pick between a feat or enhancing an ability. But I think I'm gonna go with feat. So I get another 4th level spell. So I'm taking Dimension Door, which seems super fun. So I can teleport myself and anything I'm carrying, including like a creature who's my size or smaller that I could carry. So transporting within 500 feet.
Wow.
Wow.
Wherever I want, which can include like upward. So I would like to know right now who is my size or smaller among us, because I'm going to ask this question like 10 times.
So
I think that's referring to character size.
Yes, rules wise,
Right.
you are all medium size. Even Theron is considered, I believe, a medium sized unit. So you all have the same general size.
You can also bring one willing creature of your size or smaller who is carrying gear up to its carrying capacity. So I could take one of us, like one of you guys with me, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we'll try not to land where any other creature is, because then we get 46 force damage, and that seems bad.
But they take it too, so you can suicide yourself.
Yeah, but that would be like suicide. 46. I mean,
46 is a lot. Yeah.
For you and me, we can't.
Yeah. I'm not going with you if you do that, but somebody else might.
Yeah. So it's just that, and then.
That's too bad it doesn't work in reverse, because in video game terms, when you teleport into somebody, they explode into a pile of viscera,
Right.
and you're hunky dory. So,
Yeah.
And then I can also enhance or like improve an ability score, and so then I can do a feat instead of that, right?
that is the choice. Yeah, you can either choose to do the
Right.
ability score, the ASI ability score improvement, or take one of the feats.
Okay, so I think I'm going to take the lucky feat then.
That's a good one.
Oh, that's
That's
a
a really good
one.
one. Yeah, just in general. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I actually looked at that one. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was looking at that healer feat, but I was just like, I haven't been using, like, you have to have a healer's kit, and I really haven't.
Right.
I mean, that's like a barrier. So, but yeah, so 3 luck points. So I can roll a 1d20 on an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, to add that to it. So you can choose to spend one of your luck points after you roll the die, but before the outcome is determined.
And you choose which one. So it's basically giving yourself inspiration 3 times.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Whenever you
seems
wanna-
very useful until I long rest.
That's huge.
If more than one creature spends a luck point okay, no. Let's spend one
Yeah.
luck point.
Oh, you can use
We're
it
not going to overlap.
Oh, no. This part is super good too. You can also spend 1 luck point when an attack rolled is made against you.
Wow.
Roll a d20 and then choose whether the attack uses the attacker's roll or yours.
Oh,
That's huge because you can't do that with
That
inspiration.
just cancel a crit at that point. Just save that for
Yeah.
if anyone rolls 20.
Right?
Mhm.
So that's super good. So anyway, I think that's all that I do at level 8.
You got the luck of the halflings. All right. Roll for some hit points. What is a bard? I think I ask that every time. Is that D8 also or D10?
I don't know the answer to that.
I think
I
D8.
feel like it's a D8.
D8, yeah. Every time we only ever look at this when we level up. So
Literally.
every time we look at it, it's
That's a
Grand.
1.
Oh, all right. You can take the average, which is 5.
I'll do that. 5 plus my con.
Yes.
So that's 7. So I am at 62.
You guys are all over the place with hit points.
yeah, it's a range.
All right. You all are well rested.
Okay. Those
Oh
are
wait,
my
doesn't my
foresight.
Twitch go away with a long rest?
Let's see. Where was your timing on that?
What is your twit? Like, is that not a lasting injury or what is?
So you know how you think you can fly?
Oh,
I
it was your,
twitch.
like madness thing. Oh,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys
I
had
think
some time
mine
on
went
that.
away with a long rest.
I think you guys got to be close now.
I don't know. Gillian's was like 3 days or something. I feel like yours is longer.
Well, Celeste got hers
Yeah.
more recently. Gillian had hers for
But
at least.
I rolled a lot lower on the number of hours it lasted.
Mm.
I'm still trying to figure out which tools I want.
So you guys spent what I say the afternoon and the evening here, so that's probably a good chunk of time. I don't think we actually elapsed any time during last week's session. You guys just traveled and had some fights, which fighting doesn't take that long.
Oh, I'm taking some alchemist supply.
Make your own poisons?
Oh, yeah. Because I also have a poisoner's kit. So alchemist supplies plus my poisoner's kit. Oh, this is gonna be good. How do I add that into my character? Can't I just do the click and drag thing?
Yeah, you should be able to drag stuff right from the Roll20 journal or compendium.
If I could type.
I completely lost track of time, so let's say that both you and Gillian, with this rest, seem to have cured of your bouts of madness. Make things
The frog
easy.
people have provided us such wonderful accommodations.
Yes.
They have a spa on the back.
My blindness is a lasting injury, though, right?
That is a lasting injury, yeah.
Mhm.
That you can so Theron does have that magic necklace with a bunch of beads on it, and one of the beads recharges once per day, and it will cure, essentially is a greater restoration, so it can cure a lingering injury. So now that you guys just long rested, if you want him to use that, obviously he has no say in the matter because he's not here. You can do that. It's a once per long rest, greater restoration, essentially.
Yeah, probably pretty good to get rid of your eye issue. You do a lot of range stuff.
Yes, I would like to stop going blind. That would be great. I would like to have my eye back, please.
I mean, probably go ahead and hang on to that eye patch just in case, because it does kind of happen not infrequently.
Tends to happen. Yeah, I think you'd be prone to it.
I imagine you probably got a nice like seashell one by now. It's all very couture. All right. Where's my notes?
I took my proficiency in an alchemist supply. So an alchemist supplies plus my poisoner's kit. I'm making all kinds of shit during the long run.
Make stuff.
Are you all ready to set out? With the caveat that we will level up the others when they get here.
I guess. So the Groung just waving goodbye to us.
I mean, it's you,
So-
you all can choose how to leave how you wish, but they were just kind of doing that celebration for you.
I am your god now.
That's right.
Oh, I have a toddler.
Especially, do you want to explain to them the situation or any of the situations, or what do you want to communicate to them?
What is our situation? We're going to meet somebody?
So
I'm gonna go meet a spy.
the last that, Zagmira contacted you at the end of our session, which for those of you that watch these in a row, that was actually 2 weeks ago, and told you that they have she has a spy on the inside in the temple, and that spy will get you all into the temple, and that they will meet you in the palace area. And you know that the palace area is inside this giant circle wall thing.
But we don't know exactly where we need to meet her.
You have not been told exactly where.
Okay.
With my background and knowledge of the individual who's pulling our puppet strings right now, would I be able to determine where we should go when we get there?
You would presume, based on your knowledge of Zagmira, that this person will find you.
Okay.
They're an organized organization, eh?
501c3 charity.
Mm-hmm.
We don't pay taxes.
Maybe I'll just mention that we're. I don't know how you casually mention.
Orvex has to translate, so whatever you want to tell him, and then he can.
Yeah, that's true. Tell him that we're. Tell him that we're against the snake people, or fighting the snake people, or at war with them, or whatever, and that we're gonna go sneak into their palace and I don't know, kill them all or something. See if the Groungs have any advice or helpful bits to offer.
Orvex translates this, and you see the Groung start chanting and like raising their spears up, and like they're like you're like a sports team or something coming out. They're just like like a croaking noise. And Orvex says, "They seem to be excited about that. I don't think they have any love for the Yuan-ti.
I think they might actually, if need be, do you think they might be inclined to help in one way or another?
He shrugs.
I suspect some minor skirmish where a bunch of Groung run up and attack something and then run away might have a use at some point.
Orvex says, you put on a pretty good show. They seem to be in your favor, but this is a very simple people. I wouldn't ask too much of them."
Yeah, they don't leave their tribe very often.
Mm-mm.
All right. They don't have any advice or anything. They just good luck. Yeah, you.
they just
Let's go, team.
they seem
Go
very
team.
into they seem convinced you all can go in there and just kill them all. So they're saying, "Good job, sounds great."
All right.
And the palace is where
Orvex translate. We'll wave to them and say, "Thank you. You're all completely worthless. Bye." Yeah.
and the palace is where Mannix's girlfriend is, right?
Apparently, she's not my girlfriend.
She's a friend who happens to be a girl.
I'm in the friend zone, all right?
Well, yeah, she left you on red. I mean,
Yeah,
that tells you enough.
exactly. It's real complicated. Right? She's not answering my voicemails.
Manix is really in a relationship.
No, Max will actually say, like, she's a client and she owes me money. That's the beginning and end of our relationship.
From a distance, the 15-foot wall seems to completely encircle the palace area, but it's crumbling in several places wide enough for you to enter.
Oh, okay, we're down there. Oh, I didn't realize we were quite so far to the east. Okay.
Sorry, yeah, we're right. Yeah, the shrine was right here. I've marked it complete because you do have that cube.
Okay.
But yeah, y'all can slip inside pretty easily. It's not very well defended. The walls are all coming apart.
As a concentration spell, because I have not actually been using this to its full potential, and it has potential. As we're walking, I'm going to be casting as a ritual, Unseen Servant.
Okay.
Which is an invisible man butler. I don't know why he has to be a man, but he's invisible.
Oh, he's a man now.
He's a man butler. Why are you saying it like that?
What a man.
Is he well endowed? Is he
exceedingly?
He's a shapeless mass.
Oh no, he is a man. That is now canon.
He's just a buff, shirtless man with a little bow tie.
You have to choose the form of the destroyer, and this is the form of
Chippendales dancer.
He's a Chippendales dancer, yeah.
Nobody else
Unseen Serpent. Yes, master.
Provocatively bends over.
They don't tell you don't get to choose your unseen servant.
That's right.
So if he's unseen, do you have like a cloth that you put over him so we can see his chiseled abs? And
we could throw a cloth, something over him if you want to see where he's at. The tightest of claws so you can see the abs. The 8-pack, and he has an 8-pack.
What are you doing with this servant exactly? It's just lost the thread on this.
I got the 8-pack. Didn't you hear me? Do you need something else?
I mean, it's your servant. I'm not gonna.
He's just hanging out for right now.
Reminder that you're not unseen during all these things. You're still very seen. So
oh, okay.
Whatever.
Okay. Whatever goes on.
As we watch Manix caress
what is he doing over there?
Why is Manix petting the air?
Adjusting an imaginary bow tie.
Yeah. It's not out quite straight.
Gonna make Theron jealous.
Yep. He's just hanging out, but he lasts for an hour, which is why I'm doing it as now.
He does.
Yeah. A full hour. I don't even have to concentrate on him. He's doing his own thing for a full hour.
Pull out. We've gone too deep. Into this. Take evasive action.
Yeah. He's just hanging out for the time being. He's just because I don't want to spend an action to cast him in combat.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
George has appeared.
Raven.
Has appeared.
1 second to flip all your cameras around. Somebody fill in George about what's happening while I switch everybody's cameras.
Thankfully you weren't here, so George didn't go on a massacre. we kept you blinded, blinkered. We are now entering the royal palace to find the spy that's going to let us into the Snake City. so that we can steal the cube. And we all leveled up.
Oh, yeah,
Except
we need
it's
you to level
coming
up,
out right now.
George.
What spy?
The witch lady that Celeste hates is,
The witch lady
As-
that Celeste hates.
has some sort of spy in the snake ranks.
Where's the frog prince?
He's gone.
Yeah,
We
we've
blinkered you and
we've
put
left
you
the
away.
Frog City. We had to sedate you while we were in the
Yeah.
Frog City and rested.
Yeah, it was real
because
bad.
You attempted to try to poison everybody's food, and we were all kind of holding our insides in with one hand, and we didn't want to die. So, unfortunately, Manic's Vulcan death gripped you until you passed.
Because that's something Manix can do.
Only that one time, though.
Only that one time,
Yeah.
never again.
Never again. George, tell me about level 8, if you can.
Sounds plausible.
It was very plausible.
Yeah, it was all very cinematic. It was great.
The important thing is you all leveled up. Manix found Zandala's dragon familiar,
Next found three.
Oh yes, who's with us now?
Yep.
On Celeste's
Yeah.
shoulder.
and then he has an
It's my new necklace.
extremely handsome unseen servant.
That yes,
Mhm.
that's also.
It's a Chip and Dale's dancer.
So I thought I am going to fighter level 7 because one's a rogue. I thought it was kind of boring, but it's all right. So
Don't sell it too
I
hard.
gained
now.
I gain a skill called Know Your Enemy. So if I spend a minute observing or interacting with an enemy, I can learn 2 abilities relative to my own. The DM has to tell me.
Mm.
I've never heard of this before. How fascinating.
We never got
Yeah.
very high level with a fighter.
I guess not. Yeah.
I also gained 1 additional superiority dice, making it 5. And then I also know 5 maneuvers now.
Oh.
But other than that, that's about it.
You just get better at everything.
What's the new maneuver?
It's a secret.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you did that. You fucking bullshitter. It's a secret.
Not
No,
gonna tell you.
I
until he
won't open
uses
your
it.
character sheet and find out.
Yeah.
If you want, it's written there. I did my homework and it's there.
I'm just trying to look
I
up what
picked something.
the. Okay, there it is. Know your enemy. So at least 1 minute is interacting with. If you're going to go to 2 of the following characteristics of your choice: strength, dex, con, armor class, current hit points, total class levels, or fighter class levels. That's interesting.
Yeah, I put it in the chat.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
so you did. I was busy digging through this shit. Thank you for that. Sitting here looking it up. Thank you.
But no, I have 5 maneuvers chosen.
Okay.
If you really want to look at my sheet, you could.
No, I'm excited to find out.
but some oldies and goodies, some new ones.
Some
remixes.
Some classic hits. Yeah. The fans always demand the classics. Try and experiment. That's what you get. Give me some hit points, please, sir.
So it's a 1d10.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man,
There
the
you
hit
go.
points tonight have been crazy.
Yeah, they have.
My con modifier is a 3, so I get plus 12. So I go up to 82.
I rolled a 1.
Yeah. You
I mean,
helped
I
balance
guess
it
we have
out.
one except, yeah.
3 of the 4 tonight have been sky high, max or near max.
I feel like I should
So-
still be concerned that I have more hit points than the turtle.
I was wondering who took the lead.
She's got,
Theron,
like,
when
91
Theron
or
levels
something.
up, I'm sure he'll have the lead because he's
He's
also
probably-
got
yeah.
he's got the
I think Theron just got home.
oh, okay. He's got that dwarf
Yeah,
bonus too.
A dwarf walks behind Michelle's camera.
That's upsetting. That's an upsetting thought.
No, Chris, that's called a toddler.
My God, Theron is real.
Rawr.
The bearded
God.
toddler.
I have a cat that's being very annoying.
All right, so you all have entered the palace area. Inside, you see empty plazas, vine-choked statues, and buildings overgrown with roots. Streets are either flooded or covered with rubble. Not mere just the first building that you see, you spot an attractive male humanoid with golden eyes casually leaning against a building, smoking. And they
Like smoking
acknowledge
hot or smoking a cigarette.
smoking like a
Is he
cigarette.
like the unseen servant?
No, that's fair. It's D&D.
Like, do we
They
have
could
the
go either
abs?
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do we have the abs like the unseen servant with the little
You
bow
guys
tie?
don't know what my unseen servant looks like. That's all from me.
We just see you doing this. And
Right. You know.
He does.
You had to tell us he's attractive, so I'm trying to clarify on the smoking part.
That's true. Yeah. He's attractive and also smoking what looks like some kind of large tobacco leaf type thing. I don't know. Does D&D have cigarettes? I don't know what they have, but he is smoking the
You can roll
equivalent
stuff up and smoke it.
of some.
Dude, there's also-
Somebody can roll something up and smoke it.
Yeah.
I trust that can happen for sure.
There's all kinds of shit in this jungle.
They acknowledge your presence with a respectful head nod. Says, "Hello, darlings. You look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I hope you're ready for what comes next. Old Zaggy filled me in on the details. You might have stopped the snakes earlier, but they still have one of the cubes, and I'm pretty sure it's in the clutches of Big Bad Roz Nisi himself." And you see the figures form, ripple, and blur into a larger half-man, half-snake creature, a deep scowl on a bald face, upper torso covered in ancient tattoos, lower half a menacing snake tail, yet still clearly two legs. The conflicting imagery actually makes your head hurt. The face suddenly contorts and giggles as the figure attempts to strut around on the tail. "Alas, I can't go full snake. Now, the Raz here has a secret. A rumor has been going around the temple. He's sick, maybe even dying. He never visits his harem. That's where I hang out, by the way." The form ripples
Oh my
back into
God.
the original beautiful male pureblood with the kind of golden hourglass eyes. "Yuan-ti don't tolerate weakness, darlings, and a weakened leader is no leader at all. The head priestess, Fenthaza, is taken to running things in the temple. Once again, the form ripples and blurs into a statuesque female with curly black hair, large hooped earrings, and bright yellow robes. The same not quite snake lower half makes your head hurt. "She's a real peach, but you may be able to meet with her. Oh, but we're getting ahead of ourselves, darlings." The form ripples back. "There's the little issue of getting inside."
You're throwing an awful lot at us right now, man. I'm having trouble comprehending everything that's happening right now on multiple levels.
Especially with the voice that we've got going. I'm like,
Yes,
oh my.
you're changing around. You're changing genders. You're giving us a lot of exposition.
Oh, you
I'm lost.
binaries are so cute when you're uncomfortable.
I've never seen anything like this before in my entire life. And I'm from Baldur's Gate. We got a lot of weird shit out there. So let's take a couple steps back. You can just change the look however you want to look. Is that what I'm gathering here?
George, do you still, you're wearing your bandana, right? Bandana of True Sight?
Yes.
George, when you look at this person, you can immediately tell they are a shape changer. And underneath, every time they change their shape, and even now, you can see what their true form is, which is that of like this odd, almost alien, gray-skinned, like mannequin-looking creature with that's like completely featureless.
But do I
That's
know
not
that's
creepy.
normal for their race?
That doesn't. It depends on what race you think they are. You can roll. Let's see.
Are they the same as the shapeshifters from before?
That's a good question, but no. When you saw the Yuan-ti before, they did not look like this. They looked like their true form. It's just that when they morphed into a snake, you could tell that they were still Yuan-ti. This does not look like that.
So this is a true shapeshifter with no form, because they've shifted so much, he's forgotten what his true form looks like.
That's
the
the
backstory. I like it.
that's
That's what George said. That's what George said out
That's
loud.
not in
It's just narrated.
I know where you got that voice from. You
I
stole it from Shira.
I did. I straight up did. That is the entire model of this character. I cannot find the stat block to tell what it is. You can roll a. I think I know what it is though. If you want to give me a history or nature check, George, try and determine what you think this is.
George continues narrating his own story.
Well, with a 10, George, you actually know that you have heard of a creature called a doppelganger that specifically can change its shape like you change your clothes. They are obviously have a very poor reputation in society because of this, because by their very nature, that upsets people. You don't think that you think doppelgangers just run the gamut the same as people do in terms of like alignment and all that. You just know that they have a poor reputation, but that they have an innate ability to change shapes between humanoids. And you suspect that's why it's not able to actually morph into the more monstrous snake forms, because it can't actually do that. It still has to remain generally humanoid. Even though it was trying to show off by changing into major players in the temple.
I would like to study this doppelganger.
And individually, they don't have. Okay, yeah, you can use the know your enemy thing.
Yeah.
Tell me how his dexterity and I couldn't test the other one because I already have high hit points. who could beat my hit points?
No one could beat my hit point.
I would like to know his dexterity and let's try armor class. Again, you can only tell me inferior, superior, or equal.
Oh, okay. To you?
To me. So
okay.
My dex score. Is it the modifier? No, it's the dex score, right?
Dex score is the
Mine's
big number.
Mine's a 14, and my armor class is a 18.
Okay. George, by studying this figure, you would know that it is more dexterous than you are. Very wily. But it does not appear to have much in the way of armor, although it's worse armor than you. Although you imagine because it's got better dexterity, it's got some decent kind of natural armor class.
Anyway, I've told the guys that it's just a blob underneath.
It's a blob.
Don't get turned on by these false appearances.
Do I?
He's just a Ken doll underneath.
No.
Basically.
How disappointing.
All
right.
Did you say that's disappointing?
I mean,
Mannix. What do I see when I look at Mannix with my bandana?
You
Do
see
you see the unseen servant?
a small man.
yeah.
Oh yeah. George can see the unseen servant. That's true.
Oh no! Don't look.
You can see invisible creatures, can't you? Yeah, see invisible creatures and objects. You can totally see. So, George, canonically, Mannix's unseen servant is well endowed, has an 8-pack, and wears nothing but a bow tie.
Literally nothing but a bow tie.
Literally nothing but a bow tie.
I didn't choose this. It just happened. I don't control how the spells work.
He didn't read the fine print for casting unseen servant.
That's
It's
right.
the
There's
object of your utmost desire.
There's nothing wrong with having a beautiful manservant.
He's my invisible man butler. I don't know what to tell you.
Invisible naked man butler.
That's right.
George sees all.
This is way too much now.
Cursed bandana.
I revoke you.
We see George just like lifting eyelids and scrubbing his eyeball.
It's Bird Box. It's totally just Bird Box with George now.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god.
Oh god, he's huge.
The figure introduces themselves as, I am Ishmakal, if you haven't figured that out yet.
Celeste rolls her eyes at it.
Now, security in the temple is tight, but purebloods often come and go to scout the city and occasionally return with prisoners. The figure grins wickedly as they produce several manacles and toss them to the ground. Now, some of you could pass with a bit of makeup. They kind of walk up and gesture at you, Mannix. You easily. And walk over and nod at Celeste. Oh, and you with a bit of work.
Snap my teeth at it.
Yeah. Oh. I'm afraid the rest of you will need to be prisoners, unless you have some sort of fancy magic or something. Wild Reese has appeared.
It's me.
Oh, Reese, you need to ask Chris about his unseen serpent.
No, you don't. No one gets to see my unseen servant but me.
Ask
and
Raymond.
occasionally
Raymond got to
George.
see it.
Yeah, Raymond gets to see it.
I actually just heard all about your unseen servant.
Excellent. Heard the important bits.
I've heard all about the bits, or what I imagine the bits to be like.
How many more jokes can we make? Squeeze it all.
Well, okay. So you might be able to dress past two of us off as Yuan-ti.
While you guys are thinking of this, we need to level up Theron. I just remembered.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, you guys can think on this that you all just got this information from Theron. If you are prepared, talks about level 8.
I am prepared. Well, level 8 allows me to start flying, which is pretty sweet.
Oh shit!
First, I could just climb. Then I could swim. Then I could think like a man. Now I can fly. The
Need that
pinnacle of evolution.
Yeah, you need the evolution T-shirt. Just a little shirt.
Mm-hmm.
The druid evolution. Just
Mhm.
like the different. Yeah.
Except I don't know if I automatically get an animal I can let me fly or what, but it's my repertoire now.
I could probably argue you've at least seen a bird at some point.
Birds are pretty rare. I don't know. And I will be taking Grasping Vine? Question mark? Or another level 4. No, I can just relearn those at any point. But I get a second level 4 spell slot.
Nice.
I will end up changing that at some point. Like I said, I would have the other one that I haven't. But I'll be taking the feat. You know, transforming in and out of adamantine skeletons really takes a toll on a guy. But in doing so, I learned that was pretty tough. So I'll be getting an extra 2 hit points per level.
Wow.
Oh, wow. You're just going to become a ball of hit points.
You know, as much as our front line.
Yeah, it's true.
That last
all
fight
these
especially.
stupid rogues.
He was like, where did you assholes go?
I figured I could take another hit or two.
Yeah.
I'll be doing that.
Nice.
Is that
Combined with
in
an
the character sheet
18
somewhere?
con and the hill dwarf, that's insane hit points.
Yeah. Pretty great.
And George, I don't know if you realize this too, but we did get the benefit of a long rest when you guys were at the temple, and obviously we're leveling up.
How many hit dice do I get back?
Half,
Half the
yeah.
max.
So 4. Yeah.
Right. So roll for a hit dice.
Yeah.
8.
Pressure's on. We've had really good hit dice rolls tonight, other than Gillian, which was really bad.
Mhm.
Max or near max on everybody else. All right,
Oh.
there's the other end of the
Okay.
pendulum swing. 2 ones
House.
and then 1
And then a
max
bunch
and
of near maxes.
2 near max. Yeah, the average is 5. You can take that.
All right. So I'll take 5 plus 4 plus 1 plus
10.
I think it,
He has to do algebra now to do his hit points.
Yeah. It's a formula.
10 so
Yeah.
far.
you're correct. I'll allow it this time. That's 86 plus 16.
Holy crap!
102.
Wow.
Wow.
That feat was crazy.
Yep.
Which one did you take?
Tough.
Like gives him extra hit points.
I looked at that one too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Took
I
it last game
did
too,
that one
and
too.
it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. When in doubt, more hit points is always a good
Mhm.
mantra
Yeah.
for RPGs.
All right. Does anyone have any awful lingering injuries that I need
Already
to...
used it.
We need to
Took
update you on
immediate.
that, but yeah, they voted to use it on Gillian's eye.
Apparently, I lost my eye again.
It happens.
I'm making no
Mhm.
money off of this.
What am I even holding?
Why am I even Myers Lee? All right. That's me.
I'm gonna
Nice.
charge Gillian something on the back end.
Yeah, this is how it
Hey,
works. You just build.
Charge you and Gillian like 1,000 gold or something.
Just got a little
What are you
notebook.
If I don't, what are you gonna do? Like stab me in the eye?
Yeah, I mean,
want
who
the
would-
eye.
Pick
have
something.
my vision back.
Take my eye back.
I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
I'll freeze your assets.
you gotta lean on your bank account.
I will literally cast frozen spells on your goods. All right, yeah. So to get.
mine is this.
Oh yeah.
That was very exciting.
Yeah.
So you all have been
Nice.
given this piece of information from Ishmael.
Yeah. So, we got us in makeup. We can pass. How many just wild animals would you say happened about this walled compound of yours?
They say that there are snakes everywhere because they are Yuan-ti. They revere snakes. They mention there is like a dinosaur or two for like pack animal purposes, like usually beasts of labor.
That might be your way in, Theron. Either a giant snake or what are these pack animals they're talking about?
My way into what?
We're sneaking into a snake city.
So to catch up, well, yeah. So Ishmael, which is
Please.
the doppelganger spy of Zagmira, has said that they are, and they mentioned they are a person inside the temple. They have like a position and everything. They can get you all inside. Some of you who are human presenting can pass as purebloods with a little bit of makeup. But the rest of you are going to have to enter as prisoners of the pureblood group.
Let's see. Said snakes for my way in.
They did mention there are snakes everywhere.
Are there giant snakes everywhere?
boa constrictor?
Not everywhere. If you're worried about Theron needing a regular snake form, I would just allow that he could just look at some
Wow.
snake in this area. But
Sure, but giant snake is more useful.
Hmm.
they said a giant snake. Well, how big is a giant snake?
Like boa constrictor.
Well, no, there's a 5e creature called the giant snake.
There is, yeah.
Like 10, 11 feet long.
Like to where you're trying to pretend to be a polymorphed Yuan-ti? Like a polymorphed Malison?
If that's what's around.
They mention that, that the higher caste, which are the Malisons, can shapeshift into snake form. Although I think they actually become regular sized snakes. They don't become giant. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of giant snakes in there. They're just regular sized snakes.
All right.
Yeah, a giant snake would be a pretty more obvious standout thing, I'll say that, versus a regular sized snake.
All right, I'll morph into a regular sized snake. Taking 17 hit points worth of damage.
Jeez.
That was a really good roll.
That was a good roll.
Yeah.
That really hurt. That was yeah. Now I'm picturing like the
Best idea
Animorphs.
I've ever had.
It's just like your bones cracking and breaking.
Yeah, to get your arms and legs and
Yeah, everything just withers.
It's too small of a space.
can't fit my bones.
Yeah, Ishmael mentions that it's obviously it's pretty common for snakes to hang around all the Yuan-ti, so he just mentions that you can drape around like one of the purebloods or something. Ooh, that would add to the effect. What are you gonna say, George?
Sure. Theron, you want to be a
Can I do the Ninja Turtle thing where I just like stealthily run across the rooftops?
Am I a poisonous snake?
It could be a poison snake.
I'll be a poison snake and be on Mannix.
Oh no!
Ishmael mentions that the temple is underground. It is beneath the palace. And it is heavily guarded by a front door that is sealed shut. And that is how they plan on getting in, is through talking their way in. Because you all are, Ishmael mentions, like, well, we're going to play the part of the scouts who have defeated you all, maybe while you were resting or something, I don't know, and returned with some prisoners. And they will let us in. Yuan-ti love their prisoners. And you all have been quite a thorn in their side.
I don't want to be no prisoner.
We'll leave the manacles actually. If at any point you feel the need to break out,
It's like Chewbacca.
it's yeah.
Artist
That's
speaks
fine,
up.
that's fine.
Artist speaks up and says that as much as he wants to confront Rosnisi about the lost city and his missing wife and everything, he cannot risk the ring falling into their hands.
Of course you can't.
Yeah.
Put it in my.
Yeah,
And the-
we won't risk it falling into their hands.
And Ishmael just kind of waves their hand and says, that's fine. If any of you playing the part of the prisoners wants to keep anything you care about, you might want to leave it with your friends. They will search you unless you've got some subterfuge way of holding on to things. But don't expect prisoners to go walking in with crossbows and swords, obviously.
George starts shoving swords in his shell.
Okay.
That was a tongue twister right there.
Yeah, if you sheathe some daggers or something, I could swallow them. Snake hole.
Snake hole.
Shove them down the snake hole.
What happens if you change back to Theron and you haven't barfed them up? Are they
We're
just
gonna
in
find
Theron at that
out.
point?
We'll find out together.
That's right.
Oh God, my insides.
I have daggers.
The skeleton is crushing me. The daggers are stabbing me.
This is a
And now
bad
I'm berserk
decision.
with daggers inside me.
All I wanted was some money. Give me some money before I die, please.
I don't have a good way of hiding equipment.
Anyone have a bag of holding?
Yeah, but that's what to say. We need a bag of. Does my unseen servant? He can't hold anything, can he?
Its
Let's
hands
see.
are so full.
Yep. Interact with an object. Simple tasks.
Here's a plan.
I love this part of the session.
Two of y'all can dress up, right? We said two of them can be disguisable.
Mm-hmm.
Two
Yeah,
of them
this-
can be prisoners.
Because purebloods are always like human, basically. But they said that Mannix can pass, and then Kaless with a bit of work could pass. Purebloods are always human, and then with some kind of like snake features.
And then like a couple can be pretending prisoners, right?
That
So
is,
that leaves three of us, I think.
well, Theron is
Well, Theron's
morphed
a
into a
snake.
snake.
Terrence polymorph.
Okay.
There's the two of us.
So the others will hide to the side, and when they open the door, they would just start like busting ass. And then just take them all down.
Are you're saying this with Ishmael there, or are you like having a powwow with the party?
Ishmael's kind of helping us, right?
Yeah, as far as you know, yeah, they're telling you all this information.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. They kind of shake their head and giggle. Say, that barbaric attitude is not going to get you very far here, darling. You knock down doors and start stabbing. There are far more Yuan-ti in there than you might realize. They will swarm and kill you at best. At worst, they will feed your still living body to piles and piles of snakes. It's not going to go well. Now, you want to do things smart. I can get you inside. But try not to murder everything on the way.
How about if we give you all of our weapons to hold, and you shapeshift and hide it for us?
That's a good question. Can they shapeshift?
You could be our mule.
Ishmael does mention that those of you that are purebloods, you might be able to get away with hanging on to some of your equipment, but obviously you going in with all the magic items that you've got would be very suspicious. Because they do say that purebloods are like the lowest ranking caste of this system.
Okay. Well, here's another option. 15. Okay.
It specifically mentions that, the doppelganger cannot actually transform equipment, just its body.
I can make a 15-foot cube look like anything with silent image. So, if we had
For
and
10
I can
minutes.
make it move, for 10 minutes.
I like where this is going. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
If we have Gillian and George still with all their weapons, in fact, they can carry whatever suspicious looking stuff that we would have, myself and Kaless.
Since a Trojan horse scenario going
That's
on.
right. I can make them look like they are completely just like bare ass naked or just loincloths.
Whoa.
What is it with you and naked?
I don't know.
Mannix
I
is
can
a
make him
secret
look like-
nudist.
Well,
Ever since Indala shut him down.
and he's looking to convert everyone.
Yeah, that's right. What if we did this, but everybody was naked?
What my intention is to make them appear so unarmed, so undressed that people would not think to search them. So if they had literally just a loincloth and like strips of cloth on, they would not be searched, presumably.
Mm-hmm.
So if I made them appear that way, then we could just walk in with these two prisoners that anyone around them see as just completely,
I like that.
completely unarmed. As long as we can keep them out from just literally touching you all, the two of you, they would think you're just completely nothing. So we can just walk in with them.
So you're trying to create. So your image, you're trying to create the image of
them.
Both of them together.
Yes.
Woo, that seems pretty complex.
I would have to concentrate.
Can you? Let's see. Yeah, you have to concentrate for 10 minutes, or it lasts 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Image appears at a spot, lasts for the duration. The image is purely visual. It isn't accompanied by sound, smell, or other sensory effects. All right, so
which they are literally standing there, so they can provide those.
I guess my question is, would this illusory image superimpose over the real figures?
Essentially,
I can make it
casting like a skin suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can make it 1 foot larger than they are, so there's no actual overlap.
Okay, and you have to pray that they don't move at all further than what you can do. This seems very complex for you to do.
Outside of my 15-foot cube, they cannot move outside parameters. We will just walk with them. We can have the manacles on. We can have somebody stick right behind the person holding their manacles, which could be me if I'm trying to maintain the illusion.
Okay, it does say you can alter the image so it appears to be walking, so you can do simple animation. Physical interaction with the image reveals it to be illusion. So it's not even visual.
If anyone touches them,
if anybody touches it, it's instantly
it's fine, but if
the creature can use its action to examine the image.
This is getting really complicated.
It is. I just want to make sure how it's going down.
How about if we don't think they're going to search the pureblood, why don't we just have the purebloods hold our weapons?
Well, Ishmael was saying that the pureblood might have a sword on them or something, but you guys are just loaded with stuff. So it would be very suspicious. I mean, you could walk in and say, this is the stuff we got, but you'll have to deal with the ramifications of, walking in with a bunch of choice loot.
I mean, we leveled up to level 8. We should be able to take them.
This is a city full of snake people.
Ishmael does mention that it's not like your stuff would be destroyed. It would most likely be sent to storage, cataloged. You might be able to get it back if they take anything. Dangerous, of course, but this whole thing is very dangerous. Right up your alley, I think. While we're formulating a plan, which I like where we're at right now, why don't we take a break, and we'll come back in about 10 minutes.
All right.
All right. I think we are returning from our break. Have you all decided on a game plan? I am.
Probably not.
When you discussed this illusion stuff, are you also including Ishmael in this discussion?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
They appear very nervous about it, but not entirely. They seem more on board with illusion than like busting down the door and stabbing people.
If my folks appear weaponless, armorless, could we convince them not to do a body search of them? Should we bring them in as prisoners?
They shrug and says, "How good are your convincing skills, darling?"
I mean, this lady just practiced being intimidating all night long.
Rawr.
So maybe she could intimidate him into not doing it.
They belong to Raznisi.
Perfect. See?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's just one of them, or only one of them's an issue, I got some magic shit that can fuck with their head too if need be.
Well, that might indeed come in handy. There will be at least a guard at the door. We'll have to convince to let us in. Not exactly the sharpest tool, though. We could probably have you personally escort the prisoners to their cells. Being very careful about it.
And what then? What is our ultimate goal here? To get inside.
Well, Zaggy mentioned you need a puzzle cube.
Mm-hmm.
So, darling, you'll have to find a way to get, I believe, into Raznisi's chambers. Because if anyone's got a key like that, it's probably going to be him.
All right.
My job is simply to get you inside.
If we present these prisoners as being to be directly interrogated by Rosny, might we be able to just walk up to his personal chambers?
Shrugs. Again, that's entirely up to you and how well you can convince things in there. Raznisi is not so easily cowed, however. Some of them inside could be easily fooled.
We got no problem with killing the guy once we're in there. We just gotta get in quietly.
Of course.
Wasn't he saying something about another person though? I don't remember what the details were on that. Like some priestess or something?
Yeah, so they mentioned another. So they mentioned that Raznisi is currently sick, possibly dying, and actually does not even leave his chambers or his throne room much. And in his absence, the head priestess, whom Ishmael said is named Fenthaza, has been kind of running things in the temple so far.
Oh, okay.
In his absence.
Okay.
And Raznisi's absence has been causing kind of a stir. It's like the talk of the temple.
Yeah. Well, if we can convince them that these prisoners are meant to be taken directly to Rosny's interrogation. Maybe we can actually just get right up to where we're going.
Certainly possible. You might have to deal with the priestess first. But far be it for me to tell you how to do things once you're in there, darling. My job is just to help you get inside.
Are you not coming with us?
Oh, I'll be in there. I've got my parts to play as well. I'll do my best to help you.
All right.
And I hope you don't get me killed in the process, because I like my job in there.
You and us both. Like,
Mhm. Well, then you just help out where you can. One thing I do remember that you can do, Gillian. We'd have to corner and kill one of them.
Yes.
You
I
can
like
turn
where you're
into
going. Yep. Where they face.
yeah. So maybe if we corner this priestess lady, take her out of the picture, our Triton friend becomes a priestess. We get to walk right into where we're going. That sounds incredibly optimistic on my end.
mhm. Exceedingly optimistic over here.
Ishmael is growing more and more worried the more like these highfalutin plans that you get. They're just like, oh god.
Wow, we're just increasingly like, this is gonna go great.
Yeah,
We're gonna do
increasingly just complex heist
increasingly
maneuvers.
outlandish. We're gonna convince them to let us do this, and then we're gonna
Yep.
All right. Well,
We're gonna die.
someone wants to go ahead and kill her, then I can go ahead and take her shadow.
we'll keep that in our back pocket. The first time we're alone, with one of the, if we can take them out without raising the alarms, we at least got one less person that's to disguise. All right, George, Gillian, are you illusion plan?
We'll try.
Keep in mind, you can talk. Just don't move at all.
Wait, I thought we were walking. Aren't we walking?
Yeah, walk normally. Walk. I'll have your manacles.
Too much walking.
We'll attach your manacles to chains that I will hold. As long as you're walking right behind me, my illusion will project the images of you walking behind me. Just don't, run off to the sides or trail back or
don't trip
go
on
outside
something.
or go outside of the 15-foot cube that I've built around you.
You have to stop on command.
Just stop when I stop. It's easy. Just follow me. Just stick to me.
This is gonna go exceedingly horrible. I can already
like we're walking in formation. That's all you gotta do.
Remember our parade training, people.
That's right. All right.
You take a few steps forward.
Okay.
You stop.
Okay. I got it. Got it. Write it down.
When I scratch my right eye, you turn to
Wait,
the right.
don't scratch your right eye. Whatever you do, don't scratch your right eye. Or it look like you have a third arm coming out that scratches your right eye. Don't do that.
So, just so I'm aware, they both still have all their equipment. You're just projecting them as being naked and having nothing on them.
That's right.
Okay.
Like I'm picturing not naked, but like
very
with a bow tie.
excessively
bow tie.
unarmed, I think.
Like taking all the equipment off of an character.
Okay.
You know how they've got like a strip of cloth and a strip of cloth?
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah,
where
bow
we're
tie.
at.
Down to their RPG undies.
That's right.
Okay. What about, and all of Theron's equipment is morphed with him. What about you and Kaless? Are you just still walking with all your stuff, or how do you want to do this?
We can ask him what looks suspicious, and we can hand that to Gillian and George.
I have a sword in a backpack and then a dragon
I
necklace.
don't know if any of my stuff looks terribly suspicious. I've got two
Yeah.
magical daggers, but I don't know if they look. I got the Silverlight dagger, I got the Keyblade dagger. The rest of my stuff looks fairly regular. I've got my goggles. I don't know if those look weird.
That would probably be something to stay. Ishmael just mentions that they can't control if anybody looks at something sideways and asks you about it. Like, even if you say you found it, purebloods are supposed to be like the lower class. So if somebody like asks for it and you don't hand it over, or I mean, they mentioned like you can, try to talk your way out of stuff, but you're basically going inside as the lowest cast members in here, even though you bring back, and you can try to use that. And Ishmael mentions that like the fact that you're bringing in these prisoners that are highly valued, that might work for your favor. So you can try to work it, but anything that you've got on your body that looks fancy might potentially create a situation. That's all that they say.
Well, okay, I'll hide my daggers, put those away. The goggles I can hand to Gillian and George. Here's a problem.
My rapier's just sheathed.
My rapier's a regular rapier. I don't think anything special about that.
Yeah, and a pureblood would have at least like basic weapons and armor and stuff.
Weapon.
It's just like any kind of magical like extra shit that you've got on you would cause some like covetous eyes essentially.
Okay. Yeah, I won't.
I have like a luck stone, but that's like hidden, so good luck finding that shit.
We're not actively displaying any of our fancy shit.
Okay.
We have a problem, and I have a potential solution. Maybe not. We don't speak. Or wait, Kales, you do speak language now, right? Okay, you speak the language. That was going to be a problem. I can cast comprehend language. Concentration. Is comprehend language?
Oh yeah, you don't want to cast any concentration spell.
I cannot cast any. I'm going to be concentrating on this.
Also, keep in mind that whole illusion thing lasts 10 minutes.
I can recast it if need be.
Okay.
I've got four spell slots. Very
subtly.
Yeah. We'll have to be in a situation where I can recast it. I can't be like, in the middle of a conversation or whatever. But if we're like walking down a hallway, I can recast it.
Ishmael does mention they can do hopefully most of the talking to at least get you inside.
Okay.
But it would help for deception wise if you can pick up on the language.
So I will ritually recast my unseen servant just to make sure he's up for the next hour.
He gives you strength. I understand.
So, yeah.
And he's trying.
He's my security blanket at this point.
He's trying times.
I will ritually cast comprehend languages on myself. I can't speak the language, but I'll at least be able to understand what's going on.
And does not require concentration?
Nope.
Okay. Does unseen servant require concentration?
No.
Man, it's like you planned this.
It's like it. Yeah. Okay. Ready to go. Just don't let me get hit in the head.
You can't take any damage, basically.
Yeah.
Don't accidentally step on a nail.
I'll make a constitution roll, but
that's
my
true.
odds aren't great.
And then the Theron snake is currently wrapped around Mannix.
That's right. Ready to bite me.
And it's poisonous.
Ready to join the Yuan-ti.
I'm ready to bite at any second.
Fangs at the ready.
As if the situation wasn't high stress enough.
The second you fuck up, this is gonna sink its teeth in your neck.
Well, there's no way I'm getting my money now.
Is Theron snake poisonous or venomous?
Only poisonous to Mannix.
He's got the Mannix poison.
The correct term should be venomous. You are correct.
All
right. So, and Gillian and George, how do you want to do the manacles? Do you want to just set them up? Not going to use the manacles at all.
It's completely illusion.
Okay. So they're just going to pretend to have their.
They don't even do that. As long as they're walking straight and walking in the right position, it's a 15-foot cube. So as long as they don't step outside the boundaries.
But it's thinking too hard about this.
Well, okay. I guess
the
as long
image
as
of me is not like 15 foot because I.
You're right. You're right. I was thinking more of it like a projector.
So we sort of. I'm picturing us as having this sort of like walk like this and not let anything get out of this slightly
That's more like it.
larger,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like you guys
And
have
just
your
keep
like.
all of our weapons like really close to us.
Yeah, I'll make the images of you slightly larger. There's less chance of, you breaking out of the boundaries.
It's a digital skin suit.
That's right.
Mhm.
I'm excited.
Very much so.
All right, so Artist, Dragonbait, and Orvex are gonna hang back. They're staying behind. And
Probably a good call.
yeah, we don't have time to make plans.
yeah, and Artist asks if there's anything you want to give him that they can hang on to, but it sounds like you guys.
I mean, yeah,
have plans.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They promise to kind of hide out near this area and try to find you guys when you come out.
if you hear the sounds of battle, maybe join in.
Yeah.
Because we're probably getting killed.
Ishmael leads you through the twisting streets and crumbling buildings into the inner palace. You note several snakes appear to be watching you intently, with some intelligence behind their eyes. A wide passage inside the palace slopes down to a set of bronze doors. Coiled serpents decorate the metal with a sliding hatch at head height. 4-inch-wide holes pierce the base of each door. Oh, and there is a map. It's going to be dark for some of you, a little dark. There should be light streaming in behind you. And I even have a Theron snake. I made you a little snake token during the break. Ishmael motions for you all to stay quiet and then calls out in a mixture of common and Kaless. You recognize it as Draconic. Seems to be an odd kind of pattern of both. It says, Shinthai Dendar, Orak Ishmael, and then suddenly panics as gesture towards you both and just says, Orak Teoshi, and gestures to Kaless. Orak Siva, bring prisoners. And Kaless, you
very cute, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Kaless, you would recognize the translations. Orak essentially means, roughly translated, like the lowborn, and you assume to mean that is indicating the purebloods. And then Shintai Dendar is a greeting that translates to "Hail to Night Serpent Dendar." And I'm not going to make you roll checks for this, but you know that the Yuan-ti definitely have their own snake gods. And Dendar is one of them. You see a snake crawl through one of the openings on the bottom of the door, and then it transforms into a Yuan-ti humanoid with a snake head. Like so. The figure looks at you all, surprise dawning on its face. The Barakne that defeated Saskul. Uraks capture them. Kaless, you would know that Barakne translates as not of the people. So that's how the Yuan-ti refer to anybody that isn't Yuan-ti. Saskul is a name. Ishmael grins, struts forward, and runs a finger along the monstrous snakehead. Brute force isn't always the answer, Noth. Some tasks require a lighter touch. The snake-headed man scowls and swats the hand away. He barks out some orders, and the doors begin sliding open. That's my door sliding open sound.
Very nice sound, dear. Very nice sound.
He grins and holds out a meaty hand. Urok pay! You see Ishmael sigh and dig around in their pouches, and they flip a few gold coins to the Yuan-ti, and they very subtly gesture for you, Mannix and Celeste, to do the same as they walk by and motion forward.
All right. They just whatever. How much did you give them?
You
Coins?
see, it seemed to just be like 3 or 4 gold pieces.
I will do the same. We have makeup on. Is that the situation right now? Like, put on.
Mhm.
Yeah, we kind of skipped over
Yeah,
that
we
part, but you guys, well, how did you want to do it? You can choose what kind of the Yuan-ti pureblood manifests itself in some like a forked tongue or scales or different colored eyes or some kind of snake-like feature.
I mean, eyes is probably a good bet.
Okay.
Maybe some scale markings. I don't know.
Manic totally glams it up. Just
Yeah, just eyeshadow that goes.
yeah, nice. Class, how do you want your disguise to look?
It's gonna be real simple, but enough to very clearly pass for a Yuan-ti pureblood. So it's like little shimmering scales, like along right behind her neck and up by her ears, and then she'll have the same gold eyes, contacts with gold eyes. I have a disguise kit, so I can do all kinds of fun shit.
Yeah.
Ishmael does mention, and you'd say this was before, but like covering your ears because the Yuan-ti just murder elves and eat them.
Okay, that's fun. All right.
I actually didn't think of this before, but I will also have. I'll have my arms crossed, but the reason I'll have my arms crossed is because gunning behind me
Finger gunning behind me.
surreptitiously, so that I can give George and Gillian verbal instructions without anyone else hearing them using
Okay.
message.
All right, so if you want to flip a few coins,
Yeah.
You can shoot me out of one of your guns.
Hey, snake buddy.
snake buddy. Oops.
Speaking of little snake buddies, is my little dragon buddy freaking out in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, we probably need to hide your dragon buddy. Or do you want to bring it along? I assume.
Yeah, I'm gonna break it. And then when anyone looks at it, I'll tell them I found it and it's a present. Or no, I'll put him in the backpack.
I was gonna say, do you want to keep it hidden or do you want to have it out as a thing? That's the question, I guess.
Yeah, he'll be out on the back.
Okay, so hidden
yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be hidden away.
Okay. Trying to be extra still.
Mhm.
Ishmael motions you forward. You guys
Right.
see the map we're on?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
I will,
Bring
as
the
I'm stepping
prisoner.
forward, be messaging back, stepping forward.
Beyond the gate, you see a foursome of monstrous snake humanoids who appear much more snake than human, holding large chains, having just slid the doors open. The ground on the other side of the door reveals 10-foot pits covered in grates, which you step over. In the depths, you can see piles of writhing snakes.
Lovely.
Hmm. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
There's a dude in front of me. Is he actually in front of me?
He was the one that you were paying.
Oh, okay. Is he stepped aside?
You can go past him. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Assuming you're paying him, then he lets you go.
Yeah, okay.
Celeste, you drop a few coins.
Yep.
Okay.
Drop my coins.
Yep, and then the prisoners are slowly walking behind Mannix, very carefully not bumping into the guard.
My illusion is looking at possible with them like bleary eyed and head downtrodden.
Okay.
Well, I want to make sure no one even thinks of like coming and touching these guys.
Okay. Yeah, and you are on timer now. You've got 10
Can
minutes.
you give them like
Yes.
the D&D version of leprosy?
Just soars.
Yeah, nobody wants to interact with him. Ahead of you looms a large room with 4 pillars and a statue of a snake nearly 20 feet high. A fat male pureblood waddles over to you, snacking on a bag of what looks like eggs. This person looks at you all with a puzzled expression as you come in with this entourage. Says, "What are you doing outside the Sensua, Ishmakal?" Class, you know, Sensua is a pleasure chamber.
Mm.
Wait,
McCall.
we ally with the prostitute.
Yeah, we are best friends with the
This is
prostitute.
our ally, the local harem.
Ishmakal sighs irritably. It says, "Special assignment, Sokash. I'd say it was quite effective." They kind of glare at each other for a moment. You all reacted anyway.
No, for the time being, let's let him talk.
Yep. We're low caste here. We know to keep our mouths shut.
Yeah. Ishmakal kind of takes the your silence as acquiescence and says, if you don't mind, we need to drop these prisoners off. Make some room, Sokash. Just kind of forcibly kind of moves them back with their body presence. Sokash just kind of stands there, just kind of with a befuddled expression, just snacking on these eggs. Ishmakal actually gestures down the hallway down here.
We're making a left turn.
Mm-hmm.
Prepare your turn left on 3, 2, 1.
Activate left turn. Ishmakal kind of goes with you and takes the lead. And you see a pair of guards, snake humanoids with snakes coming out of their arms. They seem to stand attention outside a door to your north, and Ishmakal whispers to you as you all approach. It says, Venthaza's chambers. To the north, the door. Up ahead, in front of us, is the sacrificial chamber. Hopefully you won't end up there. Beyond that are the prison pits, where your friends will need to be dropped off. Play it cool, and hopefully they won't be there long. But does look worried when they realize you're in a 5-foot wide hallway with these guards right here.
I can have the illusion. I mean, I'll just, as we're going down the hallway, I'll just tell them
Formation B13.
Yeah. Gilly in front, George right behind her. Turn now. What do you see was to the north?
The High Priestess's chambers was this door here.
Okay.
And then this room they identified as the sacrificial chamber.
What are the odds that maybe can I actually whisper to Ishmakal without the other snakes hearing us?
Yeah. You can do it before you get near these. Yeah.
What are the odds that the High Priestess is in her room right now?
They say pretty good. She's generally around this area. These are her chambers, and her priestesses are nearby. And then her guards are up ahead in the sacrificial chamber.
Do we have, as a group, do we have a way of keeping quiet a combat session? If we wanted to go in and kill this priestess without the outside hallway, do we have a way of accomplishing that? Because if we want to, yeah. if we had Gillian as the priestess, that was what we were talking about earlier. That would be the optimal scenario.
Gillian is frozen on my screen right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, mine too, and it's not a great face.
No,
She's in mid
it
movement.
never is with the
Thank
frozen
you.
pictures.
Can you
Yeah,
guys
that's
hear
up to
me?
you to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And froze.
Hear the doors shut behind you.
I say let's go for it. If we kill her and have Gillian take her place, we could walk through this entire place with impunity.
I mean, the downside is it's gonna bring everybody from this other room in there. If we have any kind of a fight in this little room over here.
I can make her believe that she cannot make any sound. As long as we can kill her quietly.
Getting so dark.
Yeah, I could make her believe that she cannot speak or utter any sound at all.
Okay. This will be fun.
And if we can take her out quickly without any bad sounds coming out of it, then this could work.
I'm
All
down.
right, let's do it. I will message to Ishmael.
Can we do a
tell-
save?
A quick save.
Yeah.
Before we go into the next room?
Yeah.
Yep, quick save.
I'll tell Ishmael. Tell them that the priestess wants to interrogate this personally.
Wait. Say it again.
I'll tell Ishmael to tell the guards that the priestess wants to interrogate these prisoners personally.
Ishmael is telling the guards that the priestess wants to interrogate personally.
Yes.
Oh, so you want them to just lie about the priestess?
No, we want to get in to see the priestess.
Yeah.
So we're telling the guards,
we-
get out of the way. She
Yeah.
wants to see these people.
Yeah. So that the guards don't come in with us.
Yeah.
Ishmael looks terrified at this notion. Roll a. Give me a persuasion check on Ishmael. Ishmael doesn't seem like they like this plan, but you could try to convince them.
Okay. Persuasion to get him to do this?
If you're trying to be persuasive about it, or you could intimidate them, or whatever you want to do.
Well, since I'm the one talking, persuade because my intimidation is terrible.
Ooh, that's not good.
Persuasion's not great either.
Yeah, we're still not doing this plan apparently.
Yeah, they whisper back at you and says, Fantaza, you can't make demands like that. We can't make demands like that. She will summon you when she is ready. Will hopefully be soon.
All right. I'll just follow behind him then.
Ishmael just kind of nods respectfully as they pass the guards outside and kind of whispers the Shindai Dendar. And the guards just kind of just nod, and then they spot the procession coming in, and then they actually stand at attention and pay attention and scowl at all of you coming down the hall very suspiciously.
I scowl harder than they do.
Ishmael whispers, defer, defer. We are lower than them.
I scowl just a little less than they do.
I pull back slightly on the scowling.
Moteless. I'll make the illusions look even more pathetic
There you go.
in response to the scowls.
All right. You all can very gingerly and carefully make it past the guards and enter a room with a blood-stained altar standing in the middle. It has shackles bolted to its top and niches carved into its sides. Housed in each niche is a human skull. Grooves run down the altar to gutters on the floor, allowing spilled blood to drain into the walls. Clay urns overflow with wet bones and gore. You see several more of these bestial Yuan-ti standing at attention, very calmly, although as soon as this procession enters, they all begin hissing in agitation the moment they spot the prisoners. Ishmael just whispers, just play it cool. The brood guards, they do not like anyone who is not of the people. But it's not like they can magically sense it or anything, but they definitely don't like the look of the prisoners. This way. Just hurries over to this eastern wall and gestures to the north door and whispers, that's the priestess's chamber. Most of Fenthaza's loyal subjects up there.
I thought we just passed the priestess's chambers.
Sorry, the priest, well, she's the high priestess. There are other priestesses under her.
Okay.
She's the big muckety muck.
The big one.
Yeah. And Ishmael guides you toward this eastern portcullis and gestures at the nearest brood guard, who ambles over and raises this lever in the southern wall, and the portcullis raises up fairly quickly. And then nods and walks inside. Whispers to keep coming forward.
Okay. This portcullis is raised currently?
Yeah, I'm not going to go through the motion of moving the dynamic lighting because it's little pieces, but yeah, you all make it inside. Our little procession. You hear some muffled sobs and moans rise from pits. There's 4 pits in this room with circular iron grates covering them. A chain hooked to each grate stretches over a pulley bolted to the ceiling and coils around an iron winch set into a nearby wall. Iron manacles dangle from hooks on the south wall. To the north, you do spot a faintly glowing stone disc that covers the floor. And Ishmael actually whispers, Rasnisi put in some teleportation circles around the whole temple. I'd forgotten about them, but that might be a way to get inside if you can figure them out. Or you'll end up, teleporting into a snake pit. Either way. You glance back and see the brood guards in the other room looking at you all intently, their tails lashing. Ishmael nods at you all and whispers, all right, darlings, it's time to put on a convincing show. The brood guards are stupid, but they won't attack. They won't hesitate to attack if something's wrong.
What do they want?
To put the prisoners in the pit. In the pits.
What's in the pit?
What?
What's in the pit?
What's in the pits? Currently, you see that the pits are 10 by 10 rooms. You get a chance to kind of glance at them. And 3 of them are occupied, although each one could probably hold more very uncomfortably. One of them has what looks like just another pureblood man who is manacled and appears to just be babbling and rocking back and forth uncontrollably. Does not appear to be mentally stable. Another one, and this one causes you some surprise, holds a fire newt. stripped of their gear, but is just looks very sullen and exhausted. But otherwise, it is a fire newt from like the ones you saw in the Hrakamar Forge. And the third one, Mr. Mannix, you see a tired, exhausted, and gagged Zendala.
Ah, boy. Okay. Can we put the two prisoners in that one so that I can talk to her without it looking weird?
You think you could shove everybody into one cell? It would be quite uncomfortable for three to share a cell, but would be technically doable.
You guys will be fine, right? Don't talk. Just all right. We'll do the same thing. I'll try my best to match the illusion to them getting in the hole, which would require them to move together as a unit.
To stay within 15 feet of each other?
Yeah, exactly.
The advantage you have now is that none of the brood guards are entering this room. They are watching you, but you can occasionally break line of sight if you need to.
Okay.
Because you're in
So
like a dead end.
If there's slight glitches in the Matrix,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
Comes out of the.
You feel like you've gotten out. Yeah, this is like the stealth part of the game where you've got like some like breathing a sigh of relief where you kind of made it through the vision cones, but it's not like you can rest in here, but you are at least somewhat away from immediate danger. Zendala is in the upper left one here, and the way these things work is this hook is on this grate. You can obviously turn the winch to raise the grate, and then presumably you could use the hook to then lower down, hook around somebody's manacles, and raise them up out of the pit. It's a 10-foot deep pit.
Oh dear.
Indeed. There is also 3 feet of water in the pit, which seems very unsanitary.
Right. Gillian, you like water, right?
I do like water. I don't love unsanitary water.
George loves water too, to an extent.
Right.
I'll jump in.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like, are we still in disguise, or can
Yes.
we, so
Yeah. So as long as you do it carefully.
lower the
Yeah.
Everything has been done very carefully.
That's right. Yeah, you guys can get in there as long as I'm like doing the illusion over you as you go.
Okay. Very slowly and carefully trying to work out the
That's
illusion
right.
of lowering George and
Probably where the glitch happens is where they actually jump in. Don't have the exactly right. So jumping in, and they'll have already jumped in.
It's like a weird blurring effect, like some motion blur and like a tracing. Yeah. At one point you glance over nervously and see the brood guard just kind of like do this to its head, and like they don't seem very intelligent, and they just seem like they're confused more than anything else. But otherwise, yeah, you can deposit Gillian and George inside the pit, which they still have all their stuff on them.
They do.
I'm gonna move them right here. Zendala is down there as well, and something, Mannix, that you know is that a wizard or sorcerer or whatever can see out of their familiar. So when Zendala sees you, she actually doesn't look that surprised to see you all here.
Oh, right.
Because she actually can see exactly as you can. She can go slack and see out of her familiar. So she just kind of nods. She is gagged though, but she doesn't look like she's horribly injured, but she just looks like she's exhausted, like, prisoner under not great conditions.
George, Gillian, when you guys want to tend to her, ungag her? Sure. Can I be over here and whisper down into the well without the guards outside?
For the moment, yeah, Ishmael says, I think we've got a few moments before anybody gets suspicious if you want to have a little chit-chat, but otherwise, once that's done, we'll need to get out of here and leave the prisoners. It's not our place to be tending to the prisoners. That's the slave master's job.
Huh. Well, now, okay. All right. So, Sadala, good to see you again. Been here long?
I don't know how to talk to women.
Yeah.
I assume they've removed her gag, George and Gillian?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. She says, Mr. Mannix, I see Samawise found you all. You had much better luck than me. Things were very bad in Omu. I underestimated how dangerous it was. There's gargoyles on the cliffs, giant bugs in every building, monstrous gorillas, and apparently a whole goddamn colony of Yuan-ti. The whole damn jungle can go straight to the abyss. Those bloody snakes found me when I was hiding out trying to make contact with you.
Oh, so that's why you didn't return my phone call. I see.
That's right. I was busy surviving. But you brought it, yes? Him. You brought him?
Him?
Him, yes. Artis.
The man? He's around somewhere.
He's here?
Well, not here, but he's around.
You lost him.
He's fine. Don't worry about Artis. Try to survive at the moment. You'll get to talk to your long-lost daddy soon enough.
She looks very upset about this and annoyed. It's very difficult tracking him down. I should have given you better instructions not to leave him. I need
You should have given me a lot of things.
Yes, well, we are in a bit of a situation here.
Yeah. Well, you help us get out of this place with the cube we're after, and I'll let you talk to your long-lost father figure.
What's cube? You're not here to rescue me?
We got lots of things going on. Don't worry about it.
You're a side quest.
That's right. Yeah, we got to get a cube.
Okay. And you're dropping off half your party here in exchange for the cube? Is that it?
No, this is just infiltration.
I see. You have an exit strategy?
Not at all.
Oh, that's what I forgot.
You guys come up with an exit strategy? Honestly, when you guys jumped in this well, that's where my plan ended.
Now we're freestyling. She says, oh, gods. She says, I'm afraid I only have a few spell slots remaining. I can't exactly get a proper rest in here, and they keep me gagged for casting anything else.
What can you cast? I'll come up with a plan, George says.
Don't listen to him.
Tell me what I have to work with.
It's Zendala. We can add Zendala back into your party. There she is. She mentions that She mentions that she does have a single cast of invisibility left. She's got a level 2 spell slot remaining. She mentioned she was going to use it on herself to try to escape, but she's been gagged.
And you can only cast it on one person?
I believe so, because she's only got the 1 spell slot. So, yeah, it's 1 person. It lasts for an hour.
Okay. What else?
Yeah, I mean, she's got her cantrips, so she can cast like fire bolts and stuff. And she's just mentioning this offhand. She's comparing character sheets.
Mm-hmm.
She has 2 first level spell slots, and she mentions that she can cast Featherfall, Shield, and Chromatic Orb.
What is Chromatic Orb? Is that the one light that just follows you?
No, it's an attack spell. It's like a elemental grenade.
That was Bryce's go-to.
No, it's Corinne's go-to, actually, I believe. Chromatic Orb.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you did mix them
I
up,
did it
which is
again.
on
I did
brand. Extremely on
I was running
brand.
the campaign.
That's right.
You don't give us much to work with, lady.
Yeah.
I am a goddamn prisoner in here.
Do you know where the cube is? By the way,
I'm afraid I haven't been able to properly socialize from my pit in here. She's just very snappy now. Haven't quite gotten to schmooze with the upper echelon. Some of you seem decked out for the part. You see the brood guards in the other room starting to get a little antsy, and Ishmael says, "All right, we gotta get out of here. Whatever plan you want to leave these ones, do it now."
Could you? You three are gonna have to figure this out on your own. But could you conceivably just give?
Zendala does mention that she has been able to keep the sending stone a secret. Don't ask me where I put it.
I won't.
But you still have the sending stone, and then she's got one, so you could technically communicate that way.
Communicate, yeah. I guess technically they could. One of them could go invisible and give all their weapons to the other person that's gone invisible. Maybe. There might be some questions briefly about where the other prisoner went, but you can just play dumb.
Solve problems by creating new problems.
That's right.
Yeah, that might be a problem you're realizing now, is the fact that you just put 2 fully armed people into the prisoner pit.
Or if you can kill one of them, you can take their shape.
Mm-hmm.
Kill one of who?
One of the guards, or...
All right.
I leave it to you guys. Good luck.
Ishmael nods and gestures for you all to kind of exit out the hallway.
Is the doppelganger still with us?
The doppelganger is with... so at this point, you guys are separating because you 2 are playing the part of the prisoners and the others are playing the part of the purebloods that turned you in. So Ishmael is sticking with Mannix and Kless. And I guess it's up to Theron where he wants to go, because technically a snake could go wherever.
I have a plan.
I'll hang out with Mannix till I hear this plan.
Wait, don't leave yet. Okay.
Okay, that's fine,
yeah. Mannix is going to yell down while looking at the pit. Be like, "Oh my god, this one's having a seizure." And the doppelganger is going to turn into a very sexy thing to distract the other guard.
The guards who are the monstrous snake creatures?
Yes. I mean,
okay.
They have love too. But the doppelganger is going to be all sexy and flirt with them. And then meanwhile, get the other guard to come and look at the seizure, and we push him down and kill him, and Gillian takes his body, and that's as far as I got.
But if Gillian's then got your weapon, then you could just be the lone prisoner that could get let in, and we.
You cut out.
I didn't hear it.
I was saying if Gillian then takes that shape and she's got your weapon, then you could be the lone prisoner that gets led to where we're going, or the priestess or whatever, and we could just converge on you.
Yes. Or Zendala casts me invisible, and we have no prisoners to deal with.
There you go. There you go.
Go ahead and put her on here.
And then we'll come back for Zendala, of course.
Of course we will. I hate it.
At this point, Ishmael is looking very nervous about how long you guys have been in here, and you see one of the guards, one of the Fenthaza's guards, come down into the sacrificial chamber, and the guard actually calls out, "High Priestess wishes to see the Auroch that captured these prisoners." And Ishmael now looks, for a moment, completely terrified, and just kind of nods slowly and looks back at you, Manix Kaless, and like gesture. And by Auroch, you mean that it's a plural. All of you that came in with them. And Ishmael says, "Well, here's your meeting chance. We've been summoned."
We need. I'll yell down, or not yell down. We're down to what's her name? Zendala. The Triton, invisible now. We need her with us.
Uh,
To Zendala.
The snake people do speak common.
well, you're whispering it.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I'm whispering. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still with this plan of we're gonna kill this.
Okay.
Gillian's gonna take her form, and then we're gonna have free reign. That's where Manix's head is at.
All right. So you guys haven't shut the. I guess I assumed you guys had put them in the pit and then shut the pit. So you want Zendala to cast invisibility on her and then get her out of the pit somehow.
We haven't shut the pit yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Say we haven't.
All right. We'll back up to where before you guys were leaving. Okay. Convince Zendala this is the plan really quickly. I won't make you roll a check, but she needs to know kind of what's the plan here.
We're about to go meet this priestess. If we can take this priestess out, our Triton friend can take her shape, and then we can have free reign of this whole damn place. That's the plan.
Murdering the High Priestess as soon as you walk in the door. I like this plan. Ishmael says, I don't. This is awful. This is terrible. This is not what I signed up for. Ishmael starts like panicking a little bit.
Relax, man. It'll be fine.
I'm just gonna lean over to him and remind him who his real master is, and let him know that she can see what he's doing. And I'm just gonna point at Manix's eye.
All right, give me an intimidation check.
Let's use that newfound.
Use that newfound intimidation. You can have advantage.
I've taken my glasses off because my eyes are so. It's gonna take me a second to find. Oops.
With advantage too.
That's okay. I mean, she's scary enough in and of herself to make that 11 like a 40. I mean, hell, I'm afraid of her.
Ishmael just kind of backs up away from you all, and doesn't seem like they're against this plan, but definitely just is very worriedly just immediately starts walking up to the guard to like go with them.
All right.
And the guard looks at all of you irritably. So do you want... All right, so Zendala seems like she's on board with this automatically.
Can I just kind of whisper to Mannix, do we need him anymore?
I mean, he's the one who speaks the language at the moment.
Because I kind of speak the language too.
Once we get the high priestess under our belts, we probably don't.
Well, I was gonna kind of say to out loud to Ishmael that your job was finished when we got here and put them in the pit. Be gone back to the soiree room.
I don't think there's any harm in letting him stick around for the time being. He's not doing any damage, at least. Yeah. See how that goes, but
I'll remind Mannix who Ishmael's true master is and what happened with his eyeball.
Yeah, well, that lady's a problem for another day. now we got snake people to deal with.
All right, Zendala seems willing to cast invisibility on Gillian. And then how do you want to try to get Gillian out of here? She's in a 10-foot deep pit.
Gillian,
can Gillian jump that?
You can just leap out of there, right?
I think so.
I think she can actually.
I always forget the distance, but it seems like it's 10 feet at least.
I know you've got the ring of
certainly enough
jumping.
to jump, ramble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You've got an invisible Gillian. And then Ishmael is frantically gesturing for you all to follow as this guard irritably looks at you all.
All right, let's go.
Get to Fenthal's chambers.
Follow
you guys can
him.
actually go through that grate or not, so I'll move you over.
Yeah, we can. Looks like it.
Yep. And as you all are summoned into the High Priestess's chambers with an invisible Gillian, a Theron snake wrapped around Mannix, and George and Zendala currently in the prison pit, I think that is where we are going to bring our session to a close.
It can't be a bad idea that we left George by himself, right?
Surely not.
That's going to go swimmingly.
Most unpredictable party member with someone who is completely on board with whatever plan.
Psychotic person.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you to Chris, Heather, Rochelle, Raymond, and Reese for playing. Thank you to all our wonderful fans for watching. You can go to roguewatson.com for recaps, patreon.com/roguewatson if you'd like to support the channel. We're live streaming our D&D adventures every week. We'll see you all next time. No combat this session either.
Wow. Is that the first time in this campaign, or is
no? It's happened some other times.
Yeah.
Not very often though, but
yeah.
Despite
Usually
all
we
of
have
these
at least
enemies,
a little bit of something.
Exactly. Yeah. That 2 sessions ago was just that one random battle, and then that was it.
Right. I feel like we're setting ourselves up for a giant battle at some point, but we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. I'm as fascinated as you are by where this is going.
Yep.
Good night,